Actually, I wasn't prepared that this would be working straight up. Hi, I'm Jaxxon. I have sun coming through my eyes. I haven't made a video in a while. I've just come from a lesbian and trans showcase, which was about a whole lot of community groups getting together and letting people know what's within the community. And I run QTs for T-Boys. And I choked. I'm so used to getting up on stage and talking, and for some reason I started shaking like a mofo. Started in my hand, holding the microphone. I was fine to start out with, and then it started in my hand. I thought that's strange, and I kept talking, and then it just kept giving, and my knees and my legs and everything. I did have a double shot of coffee before I went on. Bad mistake, maybe. I don't know. I'm spewing though. I'm gonna be overthinking that forever now, just trying to work out why the hell I was shaking so bad, like so bad. Like I mentioned it, like oh my god, I am shaking so bad. Anyway, so a lot has happened in my world since speaking to you. I seem to not be making many videos because I just don't have time. Playing with sound settings. Hopefully this is working. As we all know, if you watch my other videos, the first ones are always best, and they're the ones that usually don't work. Oh, red light, red light, which is my good side and which is my bad. Anyway, yeah, so a lot has happened. I lost my job due to the Campbell Newman government here in Queensland. He made a lot of redundancies and got rid of a lot of us. So I've been just wondering if I should try and shut that light off, like curtain shut. Oh God. Anyway, so I that happened around February 22nd, I believe, and I was looking forward to having a lot of free time, and that hasn't happened at all. I've got busier and busier within the community, and I also have got a little bit of on the side work, just doing odd jobs, which has been very interesting. I'm doing like things like well, this is how it went, right? Because you know, when you lose your job, you've got to go out and look for work. Excuse me, not me. I'm a big believer in when I get my life on a certain path, things just start happening for me as they have. Like when I started transitioning, everything, a lot of things just started happening that were amazing. Anyway, I'm pulling this closer because the little microphone thing's only happening sometimes. I hope it works. So yeah, so lots of things started happening when I transitioned, and so I am a big believer in things just happen when they're supposed to, when they will. Doesn't mean you just don't do anything and hope that it happens. Although you probably could. Anyway, so I was sitting in my jocks. No, actually, I had shorts on this day, eating my breakfast one morning, and there was a knock on my door. I answered the door, and it was a man. I live above. I live in a unit now. It's kind of like a house on stilts that is a unit, but it's 3 bedroom. It's huge, so it's a house unit. Anyway, so I live above some takeaway. I live above some shops, and this one of the shops is a carpet shop, and they knew that I was, because you see them every day, you know, walking up and downstairs, and they knew that I had lost my job, and so they'd spoken to one of their friends and told them that I was not working, and then this guy has his own lawn mowing, gardening kind of business. So he knocked on my door and said, "Oh, you're out of work. Are you interested in work?" Me, meanwhile, I'm standing there stunned, just in like in a pair of shorts, going, "Who are you at my door?" And I was shirtless and feeling a bit, you know, like because I didn't think I'd know the person, or nor did I think I'd have much more contact with this person after one moment of meeting. But yes, then realised, wait, be polite, invite him in. So I invited him in, and he sat down. I quickly put on a shirt, and yeah, he offered me work. So I've been doing like a little bit of work here and there, doing you know, like lawn mowing, mulching, painting, all sorts of stuff I've never done. Well, I've done lawn mowing and stuff before, but all sorts of stuff that I you know hadn't done before as well. Which is kind of exciting because it's, you know, like upping my skill set, but at the same time it's the first time I'm still in a job of sorts, I guess, which is exciting as well, but also scary, and I try and butch it up as much as I can. Um, so yeah, that's sort of where I've been at. So that's been like, you know, 1 or 2 days a week work, just depending. I keep telling him like I'm quite busy because I also want to do my community work. I was going to start studying community services, but it seems Campbell Newman has taken all the jobs from there as well. Ah, Campbell, you're ruining my life. So I'm trying to decide what to do with that. I'm thinking of doing it part time. That way I actually have an income because I can't actually get any money from Centrelink until November, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because not having an income bites. Yes, I got a payout, but I was hoping to keep that aside. I put it into a bank account so I couldn't really touch it. And maybe one day buy a house or go on a wonderful holiday or something. Who knows? But now I have to live on that because according to Centrelink, I am on leave. But fair enough, it's not like I have no money. But it would have been nice because I paid all my rent in advance, like knowing I was going to lose my job for 8 months beforehand. Gave me time to pay rent in advance, bills in advance, and that's all run out now. So goodbye to my redundancy. It's slowly disappearing because my car's got issue at the moment, and a few other things are having issues, like my fridge and my washing machine. Why? Anyway, um, I just spent 6 minutes talking about that, and I've got so much more to talk about. Um, I've just recently seen Dr. Bartholomew's again. Because I don't know if you remember my last year, so he cut out the two little bits here and one bit there. Um, they were like a little bit like little balls, almost like gave me mini cleavage. Watch another video if you don't. I'm pretty sure I would have. Anyway, that was interesting because it was in the chair and he came. I hate needles. The needle was this big. Stab, stab, stab. That's literally how it went with the anesthetic. Me shaking, freaking out, and then when they went to shave me, I'm like, "Are you sure this is numb? Because I can feel that." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, you'll be fine." And then when Dr. Bart, just before he went to start, I'm like, "Are you sure I'm going to be numb?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Anyway, he starts cutting, and I feel it. It's not intense, but I can feel it. So I'm pulling places like this. Anyway, and then the person that was with me is like, "Can you feel that?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm." And Dr. Bart, then by then he's cut this bit out, and he's like had these forceps things, and he's pulling something up because I can't see. I can only just sort of see what's happening up here, way sort of, if that makes sense. Anyway, so he's pulling this forceps things up, which I assume is like skin connected, and there's pulling, and he's like, "Yeah, some people just don't like the feeling of the pulling," and I'm like, "No, that's more than pulling." Anyway, then he started on the other side, and I'm like, I can really feel that. And he's like, "Oh, we'll just try a little bit more," and he did a bit more, and I'm like, "Oh my god, no!" And I jump, my whole body jump, and he's like, "Oh, okay." So then he gave me more stab, stab, stab anesthetic, and it was like, oh, it's pretty horrific. Excuse me for 1 second. Wait, Felix, cats eating plants. Yeah, so that was pretty horrific. I'm really hoping this is the last surgery I need. It was just $400 because Medicare covered it somehow. I can't remember how. I don't remember all the like ins and outs that you guys do. Like I don't even. I know double mastectomy because someone said it today and that's in my head. Normally I'm pretty hopeless at remembering words like that. So yeah. Um, Hopefully it's all right. I've still got a bit of swelling, like, but I'm scared that when I like lean over or when I'm in bed, like that still happens. So, and I've worked up my pecs. Like I just started doing 40 push-ups a day, and it's worked up my pecs heaps up here, like up here, but not under here. Like I don't know how you work up, like how you work out under there. But yeah, I'm scared that I'm gonna have to like I don't know, scaring me. Anyway, what else have I got to talk about? Oh, so since I've like got this job, here and there, it's like okay, I need some time off because I was doing mulching, which is heavy work and chest work, and I don't want to stretch the scars. What do you tell this person you've just started working for that you need surgery on your chest? What do you do? So I threw it out on Facebook as you do, and Facebook said, well, not Facebook, everyone, my friends on Facebook, a lot of them said it's none of their business. Don't have to tell them anything. Just provide a medical certificate. Blah blah blah. But being this is just a sort of backdoor job, like it's not like through a agency or a government agency or any of that sort of stuff. It's not like I could just throw that at him because then he would take offence to that and wonder more. It'd be more sus. Anyway, someone said cis, so I went with cis, and people kept saying it's none of his business, none of his business. Anyway, then one day after work, he's like, "So show us these cis," which I think is quite amusing because if I, it's like obviously men don't keep things to their quiet to themselves, or maybe just this man, or I don't know. But so yeah, I quickly pulled up my shirt and showed him these two bumps, and then pulled down my shirt. He's like, oh yes, yes, yeah. So yeah, and I've just had 2 weeks off work, and I'm going back this week, but I'm just doing some painting, so not too much heavy lifting still. Um, yeah, but that was very interesting, being stopped at work and then having to have some chest surgery. Um, what else? What else? I've got some funny stories to tell you, but I'm not going to have time because I blart on too much in the beginning. So I will tell you about. Oh, so the Queer Film Festival was just on recently here in Brisbane, Brisbane Queer Film Festival, which I love. Due to my lack of work, I couldn't go to as many films as I wanted, but there was a heap of trans films, which was fantastic. Um, I did find it really interesting that one of the trans films was a doco, and it was fantastic. I wish I could remember what it was called so you could all watch it. No idea. Oh, it was called Trans. Trans. There's one to remember. It was really good and it had like trans women and blah blah blah. Anyway, so I found it really interesting that while the guys were talking, or like they were talking about their journeys and stuff like that, and there were lots of tears in the house because there was one trans woman that she ended up sort of like killing herself, and it was quite obviously emotional because we all can feel that journey with her, and where we've all been in hard times and stuff like that. But I found it really interesting how my emotions were in comparison to before I transitioned. I Once upon a time when people would talk about their story or their trans journey or their any of that sort of stuff, I'd get this feeling of, I don't know, like a yucky kind of feeling, like a maybe jealousy, or I just didn't want to hear it, or no, not didn't want to hear it because I was really intrigued by stories and really wanted to know everything, but I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, it wasn't the nicest of feelings. And I think it was jealousy, really. Anyway, now that I've transitioned and I've made that step, I have found instead of that jealousy feeling, I had real empathy and like I really felt their journeys and their struggles, and I just thought that was interesting, a shift of yeah, like of emotions. Speaking of emotions, I cried for the first time, properly cried, um, a couple of, well, probably about a month ago. I had been out all night drinking with friends, which hasn't helped in the past. Excuse me, in the past. God, caught in my throat. I don't have any water. Yeah, I have. It wasn't along one of those like oh, I'm drunk crying things. It was a big night out. It started with dinner, and then it went to all sorts of things. Like I went to an all girls club that they just allowed me into because I'm known, and the owner wanted to speak to me about clashing nights at T-Bar. And anyway, that's relevant. And so I was lucky enough to be allowed in. And from there, we went to another pub, and I got up with other friends and a bottle of wine there as well. Anyway, when we got home, we were just mucking around and chatting and whatever. And then somehow came up my friend who died of cancer quite a couple of years ago now, which I couldn't cry at her funeral. I couldn't even feel the proper emotion. But one of my friends, Peter, who also knew my friend Romy, was there, and then another friend, Carla, who didn't know Romy. But we just started talking about it and my guilt around certain things within my friendship with Romy, and tears started, and I was crying. I was seriously full on old school before testosterone crying. Hallelujah. It was really good to cry. It's a shame that I was under the influence to help that come out, if that was even the reason, or maybe it was just that time it was just ready, and I was sitting there with my friend who had experienced the whole thing, like the cancer and how shocking cancer is, and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, but I cried. I haven't cried since, but it was really nice to feel and to get that out and off my chest. Turns out I think it was her birthday or anniversary of her death, sort of just not long before that. So I'm hoping she was in the room and saw and felt that I loved her, and I'm sorry for the past. Anyway, I'm nearly at 15 minutes and I didn't even get out half the stuff I wanted to. So I better stop now, and I will make another one hopefully sooner than like 5 months. I hope to see you all soon, and I hope you're all well. Take care and breathe easy.